It's time for your fan weather forecast brought to you by Habish and Rotier. Partly cloudy conditions today with a high of 39 degrees. It's currently 31 degrees here in Milwaukee.
I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up from home. Whoa!
A Bucks team that fell short tonight. Have to regroup, go back at it Wednesday against Atlanta. Like I said, in terms of a standings battle, that one is important.
I expect a much better performance, much more, under control performance Wednesday. They'll be off back-to-back standards. You'll be off. Get away from the gym. Get your feet up. Guys will get in, get their treatment, and then you'll have a good practice
shoot around. I mean, got some time to breathe,
yes,
right? And
exactly.
to digest playing with that guy once again. They didn't have any of that playing in Chicago yesterday, and then just a quick walkthrough and film session here today.
Well, that's good. It's good when they're talking about film session and shoot-arounds at the end of the game. Lisa Byington, Wesley Matthews, sounding like we feel. Huh? FanDuel Sports.
I mean, not the best. Not the best performance for a team that's not tanking, right?
Not tanking. On purpose, anyway. What's up, Wisconsin? Happy Tuesday. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook inside Wisconsin Sports. On your radio, Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
And processing all sorts of news yesterday from the Packers, the Brewers, the Badgers, the Bucks, and other as we kick off a Tuesday. Josh, let's play catch-up.
A Bucks team that
Nope.
Packers.
A little bit of news with Rich Bisaccia yesterday that is going to be dissected in the I Have Questions portion of the show.
Yeah. Little blood boiling question session.
I think I have answers for this one. I think I was able to just dot I's and cross T's and go, okay, that makes sense. I mean, he does have some ties to South Carolina. For those that have no idea what we're talking about, it was rumored yesterday, nothing official from Clemson yet, but it looks like our guy, or former guy, Rich Bisaccia, heading to Clemson to play in the special teams department. There's still a guy there, though. So now there's talk about, is it going to be co-special teams coordinators, or what is his role going to be? That's where I think the explanation comes, Josh. Okay. I think this is semi-retirement. This is a job that he had back in the day, late 80s, early 90s. He was there at Clemson and there at South Carolina. He's got a lot of ties. He owns a home. He's buddies with Dabo Sweeney. This is a semi-retirement move, in my opinion.
And you might be right, but there's just so many things that I'm looking at, so many questions that came out when it was first announced that he was leaving Green Bay and that the Packers organization had no idea and was not planning on it. For this soon, there to be a decision made about what he's doing next. But we'll discuss that in questions.
He did tell the Packers that he wanted to pursue other options. He wanted to pursue other opportunities. So I think he was pretty honest with them that this was going to happen. He just didn't need to come out and say it publicly. But I bet you any money, he told the Packers, guys, I wanted to be done last year. I didn't want to do it this year. I'm ready to semi-retire and move back to my place in South Carolina. Love you, but you're not talking me into it this year.
If that is the case, I have even more questions.
We also have questions about the running back room, and that's part of the morning mind dump this morning. As Packers fans, with Aaron Jones seemingly being released, how do we feel about the running back position and or others in the room with Josh Jacobs? And are we paying Josh Jacobs too much in comparison to what we were paying Aaron Jones? There's just a little bit of process in regards to running backs with the Green Bay Packers. That is today's morning mind dump. Off to the Brewers.
Brewers.
I was annoyed when I saw that the Brewers are helping warm up Team Great Britain today. And was like, well, why? Why do we have to get them ready for the World Baseball Classic? I don't understand. Apparently, we're not the only ones. Like, that's what today's schedule is in the minor leagues. It made me feel a little bit better, but still, I don't quite understand all the exhibition games between all of the teams in Major League Baseball and all of the world teams that are getting ready for the World Baseball Classic to officially kick off later this week. The Brewers play Great Britain today, and Miz is on the mound, but so too is true for Canada and Colombia and the Netherlands and all these teams that I don't know the three-letter, like, what does NCA stand for?
Good question.
I think it's Nicaragua.
Okay, that sounds right.
Panama's in there, Puerto Rico, Brazil, Cuba, Mexico. Nothing going on in the world. We might as well just put them all in Arizona.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
I mean, is this not also, though, like a little bit of a MLB promotion of the World Baseball Classic? Kind of, hey, just a reminder for everyone that's watching spring training games, there's also going to be the World Baseball Classic coming up where you're going to get to see teams like Great Britain. And, that's how I viewed it, is that it's more just about promotion than anything else.
Mizorowski is making his official start today. I believe that is his spring debut on the hump. It is important that he's got his you-know-what together because Woody, although has not been named as the opening day starter, the Brewers say that he is still on track, coming back from what they call a lat injury. Jet Williams, I didn't know this, day-to-day, left quad soreness. Me too, Jet. Had that game last night, parents versus eighth graders.
Yeah.
Coming out of a migraine yesterday after the show. Those are fun.
What did didn't I say? All right, well, Trevor's not going to be here tomorrow. Did I say you were going to get hurt in that game?
I'm not hurt. I'm just sore.
Okay.
Put your hand on your right outer thigh.
Okay.
Feel your hip bone on the bottom of it, below that.
My hip bone's covered in a lot of
just work with me.
Okay.
There's a muscle right there below your hip that you use when you walk. Didn't know I had that muscle.
Oh.
Don't also know how to stretch it. But it showed itself last night. Good news, bad news. Good news is I did not hurt myself officially. The bad news is I'm chubby. I can't dunk anymore. Definitely, that kid's totally. I know. I said I wasn't going to try. I felt pretty good. I was good and warmed up. I did give in. I did. And that's, I think, when I hurt the old, I looked it up, tensor fasciolati. Don't know how to stretch it. Don't know how to make it feel better. Ibuprofen, please. Listen, I'm not the only dad walking funny today. I don't know what it is. But you stick us dads on the court with our kids, and we all think we're 18 again.
Yeah.
I'll show you, kid.
And you're not.
Nope. I ain't as good as I once was, and I don't think I'm as good once anymore as I ever was. Thanks, Toby. Badgers. Brad Davison scheduled to join us tomorrow, 7:25. The Badgers tomorrow night, senior night at the Kohl Center. The last time for those seniors to play at the Kohl Center, unless, of course, that's somehow a Big Ten tournament game. Do they host in the Big Ten tournament? And if they do, who hosts before they go to, is that still in Indianapolis? Only it's at the big one, I believe.
Yeah. That's a good question. I don't know. I'm learning more, and I feel like I learn and then forget every year about the conference tournament play and how each one is different in regards to how it's hosted, how it's formatted. I couldn't have told you at all that the Horizon League was going to do what they did with a play-in game to their tournament. I mean, just the whole thing is crazy.
Nick Boyd, Braden Carrington, Isaac Gard, and Andrew Rohde all being honored tomorrow night for the Badgers at the Kohl Center on senior night. Of course, Braden Carrington coming off the game of his life out in Washington this weekend, 32 points, 9 3-pointers. He will have a warm welcome and thank you most definitely. So too is true for Nick Boyd. I think it's important to make sure that the Boyd and the Blackwell and the Braden, the 3 Bs, the 3 killer bees now, if we can get those 3 guys going all at the same time, look out.
True.
Look out. And it'll be great to check in with the ultimate Badger senior on Badger Senior Day, Brad Davison, tomorrow, scheduled for 7:25. All right, let's talk about the Bucks.
Bucks.
The 920 on the Nicolay Law Fan talking text line, 414-677-1250. Sorry, Doc, not the guy. We are wasting some talent. The 920, blow up the Bucks, trade Giannis, fire Doc, new owners, easier said than done. The 559, Greek Freak makes his long-awaited return, and those hated Celtics run them out of the 5-serve, shaking my head. That's what happened last night at the Fiserv Forum. The Bucks got stomped yet again. Celtics 108, Bucks 81. Giannis looked like he wasn't ready, and I would like to think he's just on a pitch count. He played about 25 minutes, scored 19 points, had 11 boards, not yet at full throttle, and the rest of the Bucks seemingly played down to that. 81 points.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, so the positive was that Giannis played and at home. Right?
I don't know
if
that was a positive, but keep going.
Well, but you had said to me yesterday that there was a chance that we saw the last game that Giannis plays in a Bucks uniform.
Yeah, and then, hey, hold my beer.
And then he said, no, not true. I'm playing tonight. And so I know that our friend and colleague, Mitch Thunder-Nellis, was at the game. And so for him and other Bucks fans that were able to be at a game, it's more exciting knowing that Giannis is playing. And so for that fact, that was great. He was rusty. He was obviously very rusty. And we knew that this was going to be a problem and that it was going to be, just the chemistry issue of him playing with guys that literally since the trade deadline, like new players on this team that Giannis has. This was the first game he's been back and played with them. So that was a thing. But these 3 losses that the Bucks have been just huge losses. They're not even in the game. This game was over at halftime. That's the type of thing that makes me go, okay, so are we sure we're not just trying to tank and get better for next year? And I'm not convinced right now that is still the plan. But like we talked to Doug about last week, when it comes to tanking, if you stink, you don't have to purposefully try to tank. You just stink. And so it's just, you're going to lose games on your own. I'm just wondering at what point it becomes evident, okay, the idea of doing something with this rest of the season is gone. And stop trying. Stop hoping for the play-in or to get to the 6th seed or just let's get rid of that idea. Because beating up on the Pelicans and, those type of wins that they had in the 8 out of 10 wins that they had, it doesn't mean anything. You're not going to be playing the Pelicans if you make it into the play-in tournament and et cetera, et cetera. So it was great to see Giannis. As a Giannis fan, obviously, it made me happy. I didn't expect him to go and put up 30 points and 20 rebounds, but it was good to see him, and it was more proof that this team is just beyond help of just Giannis. People got to go.
Giannis isn't the savior at all, which is telling for a Milwaukee Bucks team who played pretty well up until recently without him.
But also
they were the hottest team in basketball without him.
Correct. They also didn't play anybody. Like, they beat Cleveland.
But isn't that convenient fandom, Josh? Like, isn't it convenient for us as Bucks fans to go, damn, we're the best team in the NBA? and then later go, well, we didn't play anybody.
Well, I would question the fans that said we're the best team in the NBA with a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like, if you legitimately thought the Bucks were the best team in the NBA, okay, you're drinking the Kool-Aid, fool's gold. I don't know, whatever cliche you want to say. Like, they had won 8 of the last 10. That's fun. That's fun to see them winning, right? But I don't think anyone thought that this team was going to magically be a contender to make a run in the playoffs. If they hadn't gone up against anybody that proved that. Even when they played Cleveland, who was Cleveland's having a great year, but all of their starters were out. Like, all of them were out when they faced Milwaukee. So it's those type of things that it's like, yeah, okay, now you have Giannis and you can say, hey, this team was doing really good. But Giannis or no Giannis, you're going up against the Celtics, and even the Celtics had guys out, and it didn't matter. So it's just it was a little bit of fool's gold, I think, to anyone who thought, man, this Bucks team really turned it around, and there's still a shot.
So now what? What do we do from here as Bucks fans? Do we just sit back and really, like, there's no opinion to have?
This is why it's been so hard for me for like a month, 2 months, because I've been sitting here going, I don't know. What are we doing? What are we doing? Pick a lane, pick a lane, pick a lane. And you see them, you run off 8 of 10, and then you get crushed by the Bulls, who are actively tanking. Like, the Bulls are coming out and saying, we want to tank. We are trying to tank. And yet they get crushed by that Bulls team, which makes me go, how am I supposed to believe the Bucks aren't tanking? Is that real? And we'll hear a little bit of it in the most electrifying sound. But Giannis, who his whole career has been about winning and being competitive, after the game last night said, I was just happy to be out there. I was just happy to be back. What is that mentality? So there's a lot of...
The journey is the reward.
There's a lot of things happening right now that I think are keeping Bucks fans confused. And that's why I'm saying for everyone, I think beyond just me as a fan, having that answer of, if I'm supposed to enjoy these games for just what they are and not have hope that this team is going to make the playoffs, fine. But, like, I want to know that. Like, how many more games and weeks do I have to go through before I know official, this is the plan?
I think the last game of the season. That's it. We're not going to know anything until the end of this season.
So you think it's going to be? You think it's going to be that close? They're going to keep it that close to where it's going to come down to the last few games of the season on if they make the play-in tournament or don't.
I'm saying for any clarity on what the situation is here with the Bucks and Giannis and all of the things about this team, Doc, the future. Listen, Trevor's troll alive and well this morning says, wow, when Trevor speaks, the opposite happens. So let me speak this into existence then. I don't believe I don't believe the Bucks move on from Doc until after the season. Maybe that's the best way to get him fired. But even that isn't the fix. There's nothing that the Bucks can do right now that's going to make this season feel better. It just is what it is. And so it's going to be one of those things that we watch, and every once in a while they're going to win big, and that's going to be confusing. And then we're going to look at the last 3 games and go, what in the ever-living is going on? And this is 81 points for an NBA game? That's embarrassing. These getting blown out games is embarrassing. That's the only thing they could do, is just keep getting blown out, because then it's blatantly obvious to all of us. But in that sense, then why did Giannis play? Well, if that's the case, why did Giannis play?
Well, a few reasons. First, I think it's difficult to tell Giannis he can't play if he's medically cleared to play. That's just the type of person he is. I think it's difficult to tell him, of all people, hey, you can't play. We can't tell him to not play during the offseason. He goes to plays for Greece. How are we going to tell him, hey, you can't suit up for the Bucks? I don't see how that happens.
The Bucks certainly have that right to go, hey, dude, sit over there.
Sure, but they won't, is my point.
But that's my question then. Why won't they? Because this is dumb.
Because Giannis wants to play. And also on top of that, if they're trying to avoid whatever Adam Silver is going to start saying about teams purposefully tanking and doing things of that nature, how do you just say, oh, we're going to keep Giannis out longer for no reason? And so you put him in
because we want to trade him,
and you put him on a minute restriction, and then you still get blown out. That's called tanking. That's how that works. So I'm just sitting here trying to figure out, is that the plan? That what we're doing? Or are we just trying to prove we're a crappy team, but we can be a good enough crappy team to be able to say, hey, we were one of the however many teams that made the playoffs. Woohoo. Is that the plan? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Anything else?
Anything else?
It is a big day for UW Green Bay, and that means it's a big day for us on Inside Wisconsin Sports. For those of you that don't like GB talk, buckle in. Today is a day that is very, very much committed on this show to the University of Wisconsin Green Bay, who hosts their opening game of the Horizon League tournament tonight at the Crest Center at 7 o'clock here in Green Bay. Purdue Fort Wayne coming to Green Bay, and we have a bit of a history in the good side of history in regard to this matchup. Green Bay has won both regular season meetings, 76-59 in February and 72-54 back on New Year's Day. Remember, Doug was saying how amazing it's going to be in Fort Wayne for New Year's. Mm-hmm. And they thought maybe that Purdue Fort Wayne's players felt the same way because it didn't really feel like they showed up that next day. And it turns out February 12th, it wasn't much different, 76-59. So we're going to talk a lot today about what Green Bay needs to do to get back to Indianapolis for the first time in forever. We bumped Doug Gottlieb up a day. He joins us today at 7:25. And then Preston Riedinger joins us at 8:25, the captain of the University of Wisconsin Green Bay Fighting Phoenix, on a game day when they have to hit the court tonight at the Crest. Doug talked in his press conference yesterday how important it is for Green Bay fans and just the community in general to get out to the Crest tonight and support them. The reasoning they chose Tuesday is because the University of Wisconsin Green Bay women's team, who are the Cats Meow and the number one seed in their tournament, host their first round game tomorrow night at the Crest Center. And I don't understand why this is a thing, but if the men play before the women and start early, then they have to literally clear out the entire arena and then reseat everybody.
Dumb.
I wish there was a way to figure that out. There's not. There's season ticket issues is the real problem. But I digress.
Okay.
I think it's a tournament game. I think we can just work with everyone and go, hey, here are your seats, and you have first right of refusal. And if you don't, then we're going to sell them for both. I don't know. It's much more in depth than that. But nonetheless, it is tonight for the men.
Weird. There's a beautiful opportunity to have, that to have had one day that's all about UWGB basketball, and money got in the way. It's always money's fault.
More probably confusion. And the Horizon League is the one that sells these tickets. So what I think happens is the Horizon League controls the ticketing. And I don't know how they can perceively ticket both games in the same night at one venue without having to re-ticket, if you will. So the reason I know that is because I am a friend of the program and very rarely have to pay for tickets.
Sure.
Except for tonight. Could I walk in with my press pass? Yes. Do I want to support the program? Yes. So my family and I purchased tickets tonight to sit in decent seats. And then I will cheer my face off. And then after the game, I'll pull my little press pass out of my pocket and walk down on the court and hopefully to a jubilant Green Bay post-game presser and chat with Doug. Maybe we'll get him tomorrow morning too. We'll see. But today for sure, 7:25, Doug Gottlieb, Preston Riedinger at 8:25 this morning. I have questions. Next, we have Rich Bisaccia questions in regard to Clemson. Plus, the Cardinals are offering a $29 unlimited food option. Questions there, but really the question is, what if the Brewers did that? Would we take advantage? The morning mind dump, we got to go at the running back position for the Green Bay Packers and what it means in that room with Josh Jacobs, and then we don't know who else. Plus, it's a Take Back Tuesday. Any hot takes that we've had with Joey Ortiz that we want to take back, or is it just too early? It's not early enough for all of you. We're glad you're here. Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. The Brewers play an exhibition game this afternoon against Great Britain. Miz getting the start, making his mound debut this spring. The latest from Arizona and spring training live with Tim Allen and Tommy Wirtz from 5 to 7 tonight here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. I caught Tommy on some other shows yesterday, Josh. He is living his best life.
You could tell. You could tell yesterday.
Yep.
I mean,
I shot him
literally during the segment when we had Tim and Tommy on, we barely got a word in. Those two were just so happy to be down there. Warmer weather, watching baseball. Oh, I was so jealous.
Tommy was on with Sparky yesterday on Wisconsin Sports Daily, and I texted him right after I got done listening to the interview and said, dude, you are an incredible storyteller. And that's what this is about, trying to share the stories with all of you. We on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh just share the stories that have the most to do with the state of Wisconsin. And you see it and you hear it and you're grateful for it. And we love you. Rich Bisaccia, not so much. We have questions.
When things just don't add up, Trevor and Josh ask the hard questions or just point out how messed up stuff is.
I only have one question. Can you fly this plane and land it? Surely you can't be serious.
Do you view this season as a failure?
You asked me the same question last year.
What's the most important question the Badgers have to answer Saturday?
This is a great question. Oh my God, this is a great question.
It's time for I Have Questions on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
The Nicolay Law Fan Talk In text line, 414-677-1250. The question today, Josh, Rich Bisaccia in Clemson?
Yeah, and before we answer that question, you asked a question in the last segment about where the Big Ten, if the Badgers hosted a Big Ten tournament game or how that all works. All the games for the Big Ten tournament are going to be at the United Center.
United Center, yeah. I knew it was one of the big stadiums. Like, for some reason, thought it was Indy, but, oh, yeah, that's football.
Yeah, so Big Ten, doesn't matter. They're all there. Everybody's going there. Okay, now Rich Bisaccia.
Rich Bisaccia reportedly is headed to Clemson to be a part of their potential special teams staff. It's very unclear. Special teams coach / coordinator. Some reports say he's just going to be the co-coordinator. There are already staff members there. And upon further review, I really think this is a nothing burger. Rich Bisaccia did not want to be here last year, per reports. Matt LaFleur talked him into it. This year, Rich Bisaccia asked for some time, and based on his history in regard to South Carolina, having started there as a graduate assistant in 1988, and then was there with South Carolina through the 93 season, and then was with Clemson from 94 to 98. Then Ole Miss, and then he took the leap into the NFL. That is perceivably, for lack of better terms, home. They have a house there. He's 65 at least. Yeah, he's 65. He'll be 66 in June. I think this is a semi-retirement move. The questions more about this, Josh, I think are geared towards 1265 going, hey, hold on. If you guys thought he had a chance to retire, why'd you wait so long?
And then
why
why'd you come out and exactly. That's the key for me, right? Okay. And I agree with you that I think that this was a Rich Bisaccia move of I'm not going to completely stop working every day, but I'm going to make my life a lot easier. I'm going to be at home. I'm going to start getting ready to be there and go to Clemson and do this plan. But especially if conversations were happening, if everything that we heard from Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst about Rich Bisaccia and what he was to this Packers organization and the culture and blah, 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 and the open communication between them, if this was his plan, maybe not finalized, maybe it wasn't, hey, just so you know, 100% I'm going to Clemson, but the idea existed that he might retire, he might go there. How can you act surprised and say you had no idea about the fact that Rich Bisaccia wasn't going to be there at some point? How do you not come out there as Goody and go, well, I mean, we were aware last year that this could be a possibility. We didn't know at the end of the season that he was going to be moving on from the team, but we knew that it was a possibility. And so, we've had our eyes on a couple of people, and how do you come out there and just say, yeah, I mean, we were stunned. We absolutely were planning on having Rich be a part of this team. That makes you look like you have no idea what's going on within 1265. That's a bad look for the Packers. And so I'm trying to figure out, is it really that the Packers were just ignorant to the fact that this could be happening? Or was it Rich Bisaccia not really knowing this and truly stringing the Packers along, and then saying, like a few people, like Peter Bukowski tweeted, saying that this was motivated by the fan base and a lot of people wanting him gone, to where he said, you know what, fine, I don't need this, I can go do something else. Those are the questions. I don't get this being as cut and dry as you do of, yeah, this was always kind of the plan. If that's the case, it's a problem. If that wasn't the case, it's a problem.
Maybe not always the plan, but it certainly seemed like an option. And I think Rich Bisaccia at some point, and I think all of these points are true, Josh. I do think the Packers were surprised. I do think the Packers planned on having him back. I do think the noise was loud in that fans and foes alike thought that there needed to be a change in the special teams coordinator / staff. I also think Rich Bisaccia maybe didn't want to. Maybe there was some changes that needed to be made, and Rich took some time to think about it, had a conversation with his family, and said, what if we went back to South Carolina? And no more than made that decision. Now, did he have a conversation with Dabo Swinney prior to? Maybe. There's no reason he's not allowed to. That's not a lateral move within the NFL. But at the same token, if you don't want to, you don't want to. And so I just think Rich ultimately said, you know what, guys, I thought about it. Last year was a tough year for me. This year was tougher. I don't think I'm the guy that you're going to want to saddle on in regard to all the changes that potentially need to be made in special teams. Furthermore, he lost some of his support staff off to the Browns, right? And so I think a lot fell on him, and he just went, guys, I'm good. I love you. I'm glad you want me. I love this team. I love this community. And I love football. And I am not your guy here anymore.
So, okay, I'm just stick with me on this. I'm just playing this out in my head, because after the season ended, for weeks and weeks and weeks, myself, you, many other people said, Rich Bisaccia still has a job. How does Rich Bisaccia still have a job? Why is Rich Bisaccia still on this team? We talked about it for a while. And then I think we all kind of just got settled with the fact that he was going to be back. The Packers, 1265, they don't talk. They're not going to come out and just say, hey, everyone, stop complaining about Rich Bisaccia. He's going to be here. But behind the cheddar curtain, as you like to call it, I would have expected Brian Gutekunst to have been having constant communication, or at least some communication with him, with Rich Bisaccia on, okay, so you're here, right? We're going to keep you here. We're going to have you here. You want to be here, right? So that's why I'm saying either Rich Bisaccia looked Brian Gutekunst dead in the eye and lied to his face, and then came back and said, I knew I told you I was going to be here, but I'm out. Or this was a complete mishandling of a situation. I don't see any other way around it. There's no way that with anyone, with any coach on your staff or any person on your staff after the season, you can have a conversation of what is your plan, have that person tell you the plan, and then have it be this big of a swing, especially if they had the relationship that they toted.
I don't know that I understand what your problem is.
My problem is that I'm looking at this from a Brian Gutekunst and a Green Bay Packer standpoint, and I'm going, how did we let this happen?
But what is the problem, though? Like, what happened that caused a problem? Rich Bisaccia moving on? Is that the problem? We have a special teams coordinator.
Yeah, we hired a guy. I'm just saying, as it is, I feel like Rich Bisaccia, and I said this the day he was let go, Rich Bisaccia had to...
He wasn't let go. He stepped down.
Sorry. Thank you. He stepped down. The day that he moved on, I said, this was a necessary piece to find out what's truly going on and wrong with special teams in Green Bay. What is the nucleus of the problem? Because it wasn't just Rich Bisaccia, but as long as Rich Bisaccia was there was going to be a problem. The Packers not being forward thinking, being ahead of the game, having enough communication to even let this move happen at the time it did with Rich Bisaccia makes me worried about what's going on with Goody and the communication within the organization.
Well, so that's a Matt conversation, by the way. You keep saying Goody. Goody doesn't hire the coaches. Goody's a part of the interview process, but that's a Matt LaFleur decision. So the communication would have been between Rich Bisaccia and Matt LaFleur. But I digress. You and I were both on the same page that, all right, they're going to come back, right? And then the announcement happens that he's stepping down. And then some time goes by. Goody mentions at the NFL Combine that we're in a great spot. Nobody else is looking for a special teams coordinator. We get to choose from whoever we want.
Yeah, we get to go dumpster diving. I mean, that's the thing. Yes.
That's not realistic. That's pessimistic. That's very pessimistic we have to go dumpster diving. Are you saying that Cam Acord was found in the dumpster?
I'm saying that the pick of the litter is the majority of the litter is gone. Yes, you're the only one still picking, but all the teams that needed special teams coordinators already went and picked guys. There's no way that the Packers can come out and say, well, we always wanted Cam Acord. That was always our guy. They went, okay, we didn't plan on this. Luckily, we don't have to battle anyone else for a guy. But the reason why that was the case is because it took so long for this all to come about and be done. They were the only ones left.
So the problem is the timing for you? I'm trying to nail down what it is that's got your gears all grinded.
The problem for me is I don't like the fact that Ed Policy decided we're going to keep everything the same. And then those people in charge, and you talked about it too, with this system that's in place with these guys on the same level, that the communication between them and how things are playing out, it's a bad look the way that this all went down with Rich Bisaccia. If Rich Bisaccia wasn't going to be on this team, it should have been something that was decided well before it was. It should have been that there was communication happening between them well before this happened, and the decision made to give the Packers the most amount of time to go.
So that what though?
Find the right guy.
But they believe they have. That's my point. They're happy with Cam Acord. That's who they want as their special teams coordinator. And to think otherwise is just waste of time. I mean, at some point, Rich Bisaccia made his decision. They were surprised, and here we go. It's a professional move, and away we go. All right, we got to move on. The most electrifying sound of the day is next. It was good to hear Giannis's voice and see him on the court until the final score. Sure. And it all just kind of was like, we're back to this spot, I guess, even with Giannis. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
It's time for
The most electrifying.
sound of the day
The most electrifying.
on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Brought to you by Best Electric. Learn more at bestelect.com. Don't stress. Connect with the best.
Giannis tries, penetrates. There's his first point. Welcome back, Giannis.
Boston is a team that you're going to have to beat.
Look out below. We've missed that. Giannis two-handed slam.
And this is kind of getting that takeover mode and just what you missed with Milwaukee, like without Giannis.
I'm just happy that I'm on the court. Like, it doesn't matter if I play 18, 20 minutes, 22, whatever. I'm just happy that I'm out there. I'm just in like a mindset that try not to take nothing for granted. Obviously, did not play well tonight. But at the end of the day, I'm just happy that I'm out there, being able to, help my teammates in any way that I can and just do what I love, which is play basketball.
Me too, Giannis. I'm excited about that too. Giannis playing Bucks basketball again is the most electrifying sound of the day. Brought to you by our friends at Best Electric. Remember, no job is too big or too small for Best Electric. Don't stress. Connect with the best. Call them today or visit bestelect.com. I gotta say, I talked to a few people, and the idea of all of the frustration that existed before the trade deadline with Giannis, a lot more people are saying, all right, how are we getting him to sign the Supermax? How are we keeping Giannis in Milwaukee?
When he came out in that presser and said, I don't care if I play this many minutes, that many minutes, or this many minutes. Bud, I do. I need you to care about playing a lot more and a lot better. Because if the team is going to have Giannis on the court, there has to be a bigger expectation of the team.
Well, I think that was in regards to if there was like a minute restriction on him making his way back, and him saying like whether it was playing 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 40 minutes, I was just happy to be back out there playing basketball.
Yeah, just gotta wanna. I'm not sure if he wants to. I don't know. I don't get the sense from him that he's excited to be back. I don't know. This is not the Giannis of old. I'm not saying he's going anywhere. I'm not saying he's not going to sign the Supermax. We don't have answers to any of that. Mm-hmm. But I am sitting here going, something's still off with all of this. Just my opinion, I suppose.
No, figure out what it is in time.
Excited to have college basketball back in the court. The tournament of all tournaments in the history of NCAA tournaments in the 2025-26 season started last night. The Horizon League tournament was the first official game in tournament matchups for March Madness 2026. Cleveland State 101, IU Indy 93, and now we're off and running. Green Bay plays tonight. There is another tournament game, I believe, with, is it the MVCC and the MAC? They all play within the first day or two here, and then it's poofy smoke. I mean, then all the tournaments start. The Patriot League has a game today. There is a MAC and an MVC all starting on March 5th. I mean, and the list goes on. Couple games last night of note, question mark. Duke crushes NC State. Arizona crushes Iowa State. Those games, although that one was supposed to be closer with a 2 versus a 6, but ultimately those games are what they are. The top 4 seeds in the tournament look like they're going to pan out the way we would all expect them to. The rest of it, though, from a mid-major level standpoint, whether it's Missouri Valley or the MAC or the Horizon League or the Patriot League, I love watching those games because when those final buzzers hit in those championship games, you see a level of euphoria that we rarely see in sports today. Even the teams that win the World Series over and over again don't seem to have that same euphoric, I don't know, reaction to bringing home that trophy. But when kids punch a ticket to the tournament,
it's the kids.
Look out.
It's the kids. It's completely different, and it's so great. Sunbelt, Patriot, and Horizon. Those are the 3 conferences that play and have their tournaments going tonight.
When we come back in the morning mind dump portion of the show, 414-677-1250, Nicolay Law Talk and Text Line. What do we think about the running back room of the Green Bay Packers? It was announced that Aaron Jones may or may not be back with the Vikings, more likely not in terms of his release. And there was some call for a reunion with Aaron Jones and the Green Bay Packers. But if you take a step back and look at the running back room and then compare how we're doing salary-wise with a guy like Josh Jacobs and what the rest of the league is paying their number one running backs, and then how are their running backs performing in comparison to ours, and now we've gone down a proverbial rabbit hole that I don't see an end to. That we got to get off our chest, as well as your feedback on whatever it is that you're carrying with you on this Tuesday. What got you all fired up yesterday that you need to drop the drama at the door of us? 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. Free therapy for everybody. Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. HIPAA, sign here, please.
It's time for your fan weather forecast brought to you by the Milwaukee Area Napa Auto Care Association. Cloudy conditions today with a high of 39 degrees. It's currently 32 degrees here in Milwaukee.
I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa!
The Bears and Rams win. We'll see how it all shakes out. Bears came into today the number one seed. 31 Green Bay. Get to the outside. Jacobs. Can he get there? Swift. He breaks through. Josh Jacobs taken down by the 5 by Byard. Oh, what a special run. 30, make it 21 yards.
How did he do that?
3rd and goal. It is Jacobs. Far out the middle. Josh Jacobs is in. Touchdown, Packers.
That's good to hear. Josh Jacobs is in. Touchdown, Packers. As we take a look at the running back room here on Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
The Brewers play an exhibition game this afternoon against Great Britain. The Miz gets the start. The latest from Arizona with Spring Training Live. Tim Allen, Tommy Wartz living their best life down in Arizona. Hear them live tonight from 5 to 6 on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. What's up, Wausau? Good morning to you guys listening on 93.9 The Game. Duluth Superior on 710 The Game. 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan in Milwaukee. And 99.7 FM WNFL in Green Bay and the Fox Valley. At the top of the 7 o'clock hour, it's our opportunity, now with the coffee having kicked in, maybe a glass of water or two, we're hydrated, we're awake, and we have things to get off our chest. There's some weird stuff going on in the NFL with the running back position, and it leads us to go, well, how are we? Time for the morning mind up.
The coffee is kicked in. We're awake and ready to roll. Let's get some things off our chest and out of our heads.
You don't know what it's like to be me out here for you. It is an up at dawn, pride-swallowing siege that I will never fully tell you about, okay?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
We got no food. We got no jobs. Our pets' heads are falling off.
It's time for the Morning Mind Dump on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text Line. The Morning Mind Dump is upon us. And there are some puzzling things when you look at the NFL and the running back position as a whole, which kind of led us down a path of, well, are we good with Josh Jacobs? Should there be a reunion with Aaron Jones? Where do we fall on the current running back situation in Green Bay? So some of the questions, Josh, are first and foremost, should we reunite with Aaron Jones?
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so we talked about that a little bit yesterday, and just in regards to if he's willing to come back for not a lot of money and be the backup and be in a position to where he can provide that veteran leadership. I don't think he's done per se. I think there's still something in the tank there for Aaron Jones, but I don't know that. I don't think the money is going to work out. I don't think the terms are going to work out in comparison to what some other teams might be able to offer a guy like Aaron Jones.
Well, the question, though, is why would they offer him more? Aaron Jones had 747 yards from scrimmage last year and 3 touchdowns and got paid $10 million to do that. On the flip side, Josh Jacobs got paid $12 million and had a lot better year. 1,211 yards from scrimmage and 14 touchdowns. And so if we look at just an apples-to-apples comparison, there isn't one. And that's maybe what the Packers felt when they decided to move on from Aaron Jones and bring Josh Jacobs in. One key difference was when they moved on from Aaron Jones and brought Josh Jacobs in. Aaron was going into the 4th year of his 4-year deal, whereas now Jacobs is heading into the 3rd year of his 4-year deal. But if you look at just production and how Aaron Jones did in Minnesota versus how even Josh Jacobs did on a year when he was super injured for the most part, having quite the bum bruise, if you will, from the time spent there playing against the Giants at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. He was hurt, and yet he did really, really well. And so if it comes down to money, now we look at the rest of the league and go, there's some weird money being thrown around for running backs, and sometimes there is and sometimes there isn't. And how are they basing what they pay running backs? And just in general, what is the running back situation in the NFL? The top producing running backs aren't necessarily making the most money. Look at the year Saquon Barkley had. He got paid $20.6 million and had just over 1,400 yards from scrimmage and 9 touchdowns. In comparison, Christian McCaffrey, $19 million and just over 2,000 yards rushing with 17 touchdowns. So it is not an always get what you pay for situation in terms of running backs. It's a very injured position in the NFL. And it's seemingly one where if you don't have one of the best in the league, it's a turnoverable situation in regards to who your lead running back is going to be. We've seen what happens to the fullback position and how that's, for the most part, been phased out of football. There's a number of different running backs that can play at any specific time. And in Green Bay, it's been 2 main running backs in Josh Jacobs and now free agent Emmanuel Wilson, as the Packers have chosen not to tender him. Marshawn Lloyd is still out there, but speaking of injury prone, I mean, the guy literally can't stay healthy. It's not that, he's had moments. Nope, he's literally had no moments. The only saving grace is that he's still on his rookie contract. So what is the best way in the NFL to use the running back room, and how do we feel in Green Bay?
Yeah, it just makes it confusing as a fan, right? Because the running back is an important position, obviously, right? We're talking about the running back every game. However, the way that they're paid and treated is so unique and weird across the NFL. We saw David Montgomery go for a 5th-round pick from the Lions. We saw that happen, be announced yesterday. There's talk that Kenneth Walker, the Super Bowl MVP, is going to not be with the Seahawks this year, that they're going to move on from him. It's a very weird situation, and yet I feel like in Green Bay, we love our running backs, and we want our running backs. That we loved Aaron Jones. We wanted Aaron Jones here. We were excited when we got Josh Jacobs, but we still wanted Aaron Jones. I feel like now, especially looking at the fact that you don't have Emmanuel Wilson, they've chosen to move on from him. I'm confused, right? Because the Packers are going to pay. They're paying Josh Jacobs, but also doesn't it feel like they need Josh Jacobs, or do they not? Because that's not what the running back position is, and they're a dime a dozen. That's the feel that the NFL is giving off, and yet it feels like in Green Bay it's different. We like Josh Jacobs, we appreciate Josh Jacobs, and we're willing to pay Josh Jacobs. But is that what we should be doing based on what the rest of the league is telling us about the running back position?
The top running backs get paid, and the top running backs run, pun intended. Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Alvin Kamara. Those are the top 5 paid running backs in the NFL. And other than Kamara, who had an off year, most likely due to injury, but I don't follow them, so I don't know. But at the end of the day, the best running backs that get the most money make the biggest performances. There's always going to be some that we don't know about. That's how fantasy sports works. How do you land that guy? Well, you had the chance in the 4th round, and you didn't take him because you had no idea what he was going to do. And maybe, Josh, that's how the NFL is looking at this, going, We need a few things in a running back. Number 1, youth. Number 2, speed. And number 3, size. That's a big pool to choose from.
Sure. John Kuhn talked yesterday on 9 to noon about how a lot of people looking at this draft are focusing on, the cornerback room or the line, getting a lineman. And he said this is going to be a big draft to get another running back. And I think that had a lot of people surprised. And I think it's more to the fact of just, is it the same mentality in Green Bay as it is across the league? I think that's the big question. Are we looking at the rest of the league confused, going, why aren't you guys doing what we do? Or is it more similar and we have our guy and Josh Jacobs is in that group, in that top 3 or 4 running backs in the league?
It'll be interesting to see how we draft in that position, knowing that we have Josh and maybe we have Marshawn Lloyd, and we're not going to have Emmanuel Wilson. So now what? Who's on the practice squad? Only time will tell. Time will not tell based on the $29 unlimited food option that the Cardinals are now offering. Did you see this? Mm-hmm. Let's pause and go, alcohol's not included.
Yeah, details.
Bum, bum, ba-bum, bum. You imagine an all-you-can-drink?
I mean, that'd be terrible, right? They used to do that, like dime, nickel, beer night.
Dime, nickel, beer night? That was funny.
Yeah, 15 cents. Yeah. You got a dime and a nickel? Give us both.
So if the Brewers were to do something like this and make an offer for an all-you-can-eat option like the Cardinals have for $29, first thing, Josh, is $29 a good price for an all-you-can-eat option at a Major League Baseball game? Do you think that's a good number? And will you get the bang for your buck at $29?
I absolutely do. I do. I mean, things aren't cheap at Major League sporting events. They're not. You're paying $10, $12 for a soda, and if you're getting a large soda, and $6 for a hot dog, and that's just you. If you're able to feed essentially the whole family for that amount of money, and I'm sure that there's some type of fine print on what unlimited truly is, right? Like, I don't think that you could just go get a hot dog, hop back in line, go get a hot dog, but maybe I really don't know. But like those contests where they say like win free wings for a year, it's not like you can just go eat wings every day for a year, right? It's like you get wings once a month for 12 months. Right. So I'm thinking there's probably some fine print. But to answer your question, $29, yeah, that's an amazing price.
Scotty Tiffany, the 262 on the Nicolay Law talk and text line. That number, 414-677-1250, says, does that include concessions in the stands, or do you have to wait in line? Well, it doesn't say. The Cardinals and a ticket package at $29. So you get a ticket to the game. That's number one. It's a ticket package. It includes a bottomless soda, hot dogs, chicken tenders, bratwurst, nachos, fries, popcorn, peanuts, chips, and ice cream. I don't care where the seat is. That is a deal.
Right. Now, I will say, because there were some people saying, man, the Brewers should do this. The Brewers do have like a value, I don't know, concession stand where you can get like cheaper items. You can get a smaller hot dog for a couple of bucks, where you're not getting the jumbo hot dog for whatever it is, $7, $8. So there are different ways to save money within American Family Field on food and concessions. But yeah, this is not a bad price. If this was at like a NBA arena, this is at least $50, at least.
So apparently this is not something new, though, in terms of all-you-can-eat options at ballparks. There are all of these all across the country, specifically in minor league baseball. They have these decks, right, out in right field or left field. Those at some Northwoods League ballparks are all-you-can-eat and all-you-can-drink. I remember that from yesteryear in the late 2000s when the Bullfrogs in the Northwoods League were brand new here in Green Bay. I was part of that staff, and we did an all-you-can-eat, all-you-can-drink $25 ticket option. Hello, bachelor and bachelorette parties on the party deck at the Green Bay Bullfrogs games. It looks like, though, that the Reds have had something like this in its place for some time. That price, $26.50. However, it's not unlimited. It's popcorn, soda, peanuts, chips, and a limit of 5 hot dogs.
We're only going to let you eat 5 hot dogs. Right. It's just a little different. But the other thing to remember is this isn't like it's $29. Like that's the voucher you're paying for the food. That also includes the ticket, right? Like it's the ticket to the game.
Yeah, it's a ticket package.
And then on top of that, you're getting the food. That's what, to me, like, have you been through a drive-through lately? Like the $30 doesn't get you as far as it used to. And now you're getting to go to a baseball game and not have to worry about food or drink for $30. That's a good deal. And essentially, to your point, this is kind of the minor league method, right? Of just enticing you to get in the building. Get in the building, assuming you're going to maybe do this for your kids, but then you're still going to buy a beer. You're going to get them a souvenir in the team store. You're going to spend more money elsewhere because they got you in. They're going to pay. You're going to pay for parking. They're going to get more of your money beyond this $29. That's what they're hoping for.
Yeah, in the business, it's called a per cap. Per cap, literally per baseball cap of somebody coming into the stadium. How much are you worth to the team? Ticket price, concession price, buy all the gear price. When you walk through the gates at a stadium, no matter what the event is, there is an average spend attached to your cap. And teams use that number to discuss things like this. What could concession prices be? Where should we list ticket prices? How do we change ticket prices? Are there demographics information that we can see? And so on. Speaking of concessions, the 920 says, Trevor, what are we packing the Crest tonight with in terms of people? And what are the concession prices there? Beer, etc. It's funny you bring that up because most of the time when I've attended these games over the last 7 seasons, I sit at this very microphone and do a job. And I steal a soda from the press room, and that's it. There's no food for those people on the table. This year, different story. I sit in the stands as a fan, and then I mentioned earlier, I leave that seat and go and play press boy. Really, it's go and play inside Wisconsin boy because I do not view myself as a member of the press. As a matter of fact, I've had conversations with people in sports media here in Green Bay. I'm going, hey, guys, just so you know, the idea of me being impartial doesn't exist. That's not how I run the podcast. It's not how we do this show. I am partial. I'm 100% partial. There is no job I want in sports in Wisconsin that is impartial. On that note, I can sit in the stands and cheer and go and do what I need to do so that we have the content for this game. On the flip side, this is the first time in a long time, if ever, that I've sat and had a beer during the game, if I choose, which I won't tonight. Prices aren't that bad. Concession lines aren't that long. Options are aplenty at the Crest Center. And tonight, hopefully, it's so full that I eat crow tomorrow. Not literally, that's for the Super Bowl. But the idea is it's tolerable, especially at this level. So, yeah, I don't think the concession prices are bad for the Crest Center at all, by any means.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, people are texting in, by the way, aplenty on this topic. Matt in Pewaukee points out, he said that he read that the $29 Cardinals all-you-can-eat deal, you have to pick only 3 items from that menu list. So that's where the fine print comes in of it. I don't think that you can just do that. The 414, this is Eric in West Allis, said, me, the wife, and 2 teenage boys for $29, sign me up. So, no, it's $29 a person, right? So it's not you're getting 4 people into a game with food for $29. But
well, no, what he's saying is even at $29 per person, sign me up.
Yeah. To that point, that's still right. That's a great deal.
Yeah, that's what he's saying is for a family of 4 at $29 a piece to go in and have unlimited options of food and sodas.
Yeah,
buddy, I got 2 teenage boys.
Yeah,
they will lose.
Yeah. They'll take care of it. B. Hintage in West Allis says it's a good idea, but yeah, screw the Cardinals. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I absolutely hate the Cardinals.
Mic drop.
But I'm curious too, in Wisconsin, in Milwaukee, when you are at a Brewers game, tailgating is a big deal. You are firing up the grill. You are eating before the game. You can also go in to the stadium with food. You can bring food into the game. So
true.
is this something that's even a huge benefit at American Family Field, knowing that most of the time you're eating before the game anyway? It's another
When we
point.
come back, we will preview tonight's game at the Crest Center, UW Green Bay, a day early and about 25 minutes early. Doug Gottlieb, head coach, UW Green Bay's Fighting Phoenix, joins us in 5 minutes. Stay here. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Huskies get the upset with a 72-70 win.
The hardest thing to teach in coaching is how to win.
A low point, and I'm not sure it could get much lower.
When some find reasons to quit, adversity and doubt creeping in.
Make it 21 straight losses for Doug Gottlieb and the Phoenix.
The Phoenix find lessons.
You find out what people are made of when you go through this level of adversity. And I'm going to see it through until we win our Rise State Championship.
We learned that there's only one choice: to rise.
There's no struggle, there is no progress. It's easy that we're not getting better. Toughest team, best conditioned team, best culture in the league.
Those guys, they just praying that I crash. Those guys, they don't want to see me.
Just like the Brewers hype videos, just like the Packers hype videos, I just got chills. March Madness is here. That feels good, Wisconsin. Man, inside Wisconsin sports, Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht. You got the chills, Josh?
Oh, yeah, the tinglies.
I got them. DD Chills joining us now, Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. We just played the beginning part of that hype video, buddy. Chills. Literal chills.
Yeah, I get chills too, and I get a little emotional. I just you were there we had a long night after Robert Morris.
Mm-hmm.
And God, that was hard. Holy cow. Do you like, I don't know. There was so many things going on in my world, in my orbit. And when I got the job, Coach Bennett told me, you do know that being a head coach is the loneliest job on earth. And I was like, I don't know, Coach. He's like, there's no one who understands that anything that happens is your fault. And there's no one you can really explain it to. So, yeah, I mean, to go from last year where on senior night, we just choked away a game against Oakland. I mean, I don't think we could have prepared better for their zone. We got them. Think about this, okay? Greg Campy grabbed me after the game and he said, "You're the first coach in 15 years to get me out of my zone." That was last year. And Dennis Harrington, who left and went to Air Force, and he's going through another tough year this year. They just lost their jobs. Dennis and I worked diligently on how to get open shots with last year's team against their matchup zone. And the kids prepped, but the moment was too big for them. They didn't have that thing, that belief, that ability to go like, hey, we're going to win this regardless. And, we did so many things right. And then, like every game, they went wrong at the end, right? We play great defense. They airball a ball, throw it back out, hit a three. Now they're down 2. We run a home run play for CJ. He has a layup or a dunk, gets fouled, only makes 1 out of 2 free throws. We foul as you're supposed to with 4 seconds to go. They make the first, miss the second. We don't box out. They lay it in. We lose in overtime. And then we got to go play Oakland again at their place. And we get just demolished, and it's over. To go from there to I'm pulling into the Crest right now to have a home game and have the honest, legit feeling. Last year, I thought if Anthony got healthy, and he was like a game away, like a couple of days away from being healthy. If Anthony was healthy, if Yonatan was healthy, remember Rudy tore his oblique at the end of the year. He didn't play in those last 4 or 5 games. I thought, you know what? We might be able to just sneak up on some people. And wouldn't it be the craziest thing ever? It's not crazy this year, Now, look, we have to play great to win tonight. But, I mean, the juxtaposition of last year, if you would have had me on your show last year, Trevor, people would say, why are you having that? Why are you having that loser on your show? You're doing it so you can right?
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Doug, I like to say all the time that winning changes everything. And what you've done with the program and what the team has been able to do and winning games. And I mean, it's changed the culture. It's made people that didn't want to care about the UWGB Phoenix start to care about this team, which is a huge testament to you. But as you also mentioned, and I also like to say, you're not done yet. And so you have a big night tonight. Talk to me a little bit just about the mindset and what you're looking forward to in tonight's game.
So there's two parts to it, and I think, and this is something that I learned coaching kids in AAU basketball. I'm a more guy, and I'm sorry if I go too much of story time. I know you guys have a hard out at the end of this thing. Okay, after my first year at ESPN, a gentleman named Bruce Gilbert. Bruce runs Westwood One now. So Bruce was my boss. He hired me at ESPN Radio. And I'll never forget this. He called me in and he gave me feedback. And his feedback was, back then baseball was big in national radio. It's like, hey, you got to be better at baseball when you come out of basketball season. And I said, what's the good news? And he said, the good news is you're not particularly good at hockey. Feel free. Don't ever talk about hockey again on radio. Nobody cares in national radio. I was like, thank God, And then he said, the thing I've learned about you in 1 year of you working for me is you're a more guy. And I said, yes. I never said no to any assignment, to any challenge, to anything. I got a bit of a Superman complex. But what I learned in coaching kids, and this is really important in us celebrating what we've so far accomplished and knowing there's more to accomplish, is that you do have to celebrate your dubs, right? You just, again, it doesn't mean that you're taking a victory lap, but you do have to go like, hell yeah. I was told by former members of my staff, members of previous staff, you can't finish in the top half of the Horizon League with Preston Rudiger as your point guard. That's what I was told. Okay, can't do it. He's not good enough. He's a great kid, tries hard, plays hard, just not that good. Dude, he should be first team ahead of Brody Robinson. Brody Robinson's a foul merchant. Okay, that's the only reason that and they play at a faster pace. That's why his numbers are better. I will take Preston Rudiger 6 days a week and twice on Sunday over Brody Robinson, who's a good player. Okay, but Rudy's better because he does everything. He defends. He rebounds for us, 4-to-1 assist to turnover, 90% free throw shooter, and he's not a merchant. Anyway, so Josh, I'll get you to the answer in 1 second. The first thing is, so for anybody who's like, oh, they're celebrating, like, no. But I think it might even be my ex-wife. It's like we won a big game on like a Saturday. And if you know AAU tournaments, like our expression with my AAU team was, nobody cares what you did on Saturday, right? Sunday's what matters. Right, because Saturday's like pool play, Sunday's bracket play, right? So, but you do have to celebrate. Hey, when you have a good one, and you're trending and you're doing the right things, you got to celebrate it. So that's what a lot of this is. And then to your point, Josh. Now it's bracket play. Now it's Sunday. Now it's winning time. But the thing I like about this group, and when I say this group, it's not just the players, it's the coaches, is we've been consistently trying to build to continue to improve. And there are signs of improvement. Forget about the wins and losses, just in terms of process. We were the worst defensive team in America last year. We were the worst rebounding team in America last year. Okay, we have the best. I don't think we're as good as our numbers, but we have the best defensive rebound rate in the league this year. Okay, we turn the ball. We have the second fewest turnovers in the league this year. Okay? So the point is, anybody can go like, hey, dude, you're doing a great job. No. If you're a sports fan, okay, the job of a head coach is to identify the problems and don't just talk about it, but find ways to fix it. I hired a really, really good staff. They're amazing. Okay. And we've worked every day to solve the three biggest things that hold anybody, especially us, back from winning, which was, can you defend the basketball? Okay, we have the best 2-point defensive field goal rate in the league. Okay, because we gave up layups last year. I said no more layups, no more layups. Cannot get bludgeoned on the boards and cannot turn the basketball over. Nothing else matters. You have to figure out how to stop. Prevent. More games are lost than won. So we were losing games because of turnovers, rebounding, and defending the basketball. And we haven't fixed it, but we've been diligent about building towards today. And so we'll see, Josh. We'll see if we're able to sustain what we did against Fort Wayne last time, what we did against Youngstown. And the thing I would celebrate as a team, this is maybe too much inside basketball against Youngstown. Obviously, Youngstown hit 16 threes at their opposed to. Sorry about that. Sorry about
All good.
that.
I think we got you back. You're good.
Sorry about that. Youngstown hit 16 threes. So we had to change back to our defensive coverage before January 1st. It took us 3 or 4 days to put it in, but that's my coaching staff in identifying the problem. That's us working together, and that's the players understanding that our coverage is different, and you have to be locked in on it. Because if you blow a coverage mistake against Youngstown, they hit you for a 3. They hit you for a 3. It feels like they're going to hit you for 3 or 4. So, yeah, we got more basketball to be played. We've tried to work on improving every day, and we know how we win. We know how we lose, and we're going to do our best tonight. And I hope to goodness people show up tonight.
DG, Doug Gottlieb, the head coach of the Green Bay Phoenix men's basketball team, getting ready for tonight's playoff matchup, the Horizon League tournament at the Crest Center, 7 o'clock against Purdue Fort Wayne. DG, I think I know where you park. What are the odds that you can give us a little access and show us the locker room? How far away? You're not far from there, are you?
I'm not, but let me get my card out because it'll be embarrassing if I don't have my card out and we go through so I get in. So game days.
Excuse me, sir.
So game days, I park in the loading dock area because the good parking is taken up for our donors. So I'm in the loading dock, which is.
I knew it. That's exactly where your car got hit by a snowplow.
It was hit by a snowplow. And it's the first day when I got the job. This is where I parked, and I parked here because the year before, when I came in, interviewed with Josh and Mike, this is when they hired Sonny. I was calling the Big Ten championship game the next day, so I drove up from Chicago and I parked here. So but anyway, my first day on the job, I said, hey, one of the campus police officers like, Coach, you can't park there. I was like, look, man, I was just in Newport Beach, California. When it's cold, I'm going to park as close to the door as possible. You can tow the car if you want, but this is where I'm going to park. Okay, so sorry, I'm going to violate one school policy. So you want to see the locker room?
Yeah, take us in the locker room. We'll ask you another question while you walk and talk. You're good at this. You can chew gum and walk at the same time.
Yeah, I talk in my sleep, so.
Doug, what makes you emotional? We mentioned the chills and the video that you sent me that we're going to play a couple times this morning. What makes you emotional about this?
A lot. I mean, just a lot of personal stuff, Trevor. I mean, you feel you're, look, my brother told me, my brother's been in this business for over 30 years. Okay. And, some of his advice I took last year wasn't, I don't know if it was the best. And then this year he came out and, I wouldn't have had Kerry Rupp if not for him. And Kerry's completely changed our program. But I remember a conversation with my brother where we were sitting in my basement. We were having a beer looking out on the lake. And he's like, you got to accept that you failed. You got to look, you failed. And it doesn't matter. Like, nobody cares about APR probation. You can't practice and, practice one day less than everybody else. Nobody cares about not having money or somebody getting hurt or bad calls, whatever. Nobody cares. Okay. You put yourself into this position, you thrust yourself out there, and you failed. So admit that you failed and the first step in succeeding is admitting that you failed and learn from it. And that admitting that you failed to yourself, when you're a really confident person, it's a hard thing. It's like the hardest thing. I go like, yeah, I failed. I was bad. I sucked, But the second you do that, it is kind of freeing, but it doesn't always feel good. And so I'm going to the locker room now.
Nice. Anybody in there? Or the lights off?
No, it's 7:14 in the morning.
Listen, if anybody was going to be in there, it's Rudy. Somehow, Rudy's
No,
just
it'd be
chilling in
Justin
the
Allen. Justin Allen.
Would it?
Oh yeah. Justin Allen. Although they were in there late, they were in here late last night because I do a thing where every day they got to make 100 free throws, make 100 threes, and then send me their numbers of how many shots it took them to make 100 free throws.
Oh.
And so they have to send it to me, or they can't come to me, or they can't come to practice. So then I'll get the text late, and then I'll open up my laptop and I can see them shooting in the gym or whatever. Anyway, so what brings me to emotion? I mean, just all those things that were going on last year and how hard it was. And, I probably need to go through some therapy for it. So, I got PTSD. And it's probably why I didn't play more guys in the last 5 or 6 minutes of the game against Youngstown, right? Just because, I'm not doing that again. We got it. We're going to finish it. And then when it's completely set, okay, then I'll empty the bench. And so I apologize to some of those guys, but that's how it has to be done because I have PTSD from last year. The emotion comes from how hard it was and still processing those emotions. And it doesn't yet feel real when the game's not being played. When we're playing whew, even Cleveland State, to be honest with you, the first 7 or 8 minutes, we were really guarding. We just struggled offensively, and they can score so much, and then they just got hot. So I don't know. My point is, Trevor, that this has been an unbelievable process, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it. And I do love that people are paying attention. I just want them to understand that I accept what went wrong, and I went to work on trying to fix it. And it is not easy to say goodbye to people that you really care about because you have to fix it, and sometimes that starts with some goodbyes.
Outstanding. All right, we got to get going here. However, buddy, I want to surprise you. I did that. I wanted you to go in the locker room, not for us, but for you. That was a hell of a season last year, and that opening video that you sent me talks about your 21 losses in a row. You are hosting a Horizon League tournament game this year after all of that. And right now, you are alone in the locker room that you rebuilt. So take some time in there by yourself and notice where you've come, buddy, because it's meaningful. It's emotional for fans. It's emotional for me as your friend. So just shut this damn phone off and take a few moments of silence by yourself in the locker room.
Well, here's one thing. Here's something you don't know. So our locker room is beautiful, and I appreciate it. I wanted the back here where this to be our culture wall with all pictures of guys celebrating. But I didn't feel like we had anything yet worth celebrating. So by next season, this thing will be decorated with celebrating the culture that we've created. That's the big thing.
Hell yeah.
Okay? I mean, we're going to play our balls off tonight, and I hope that everybody who's listening gets up here and cheers for our kids and for what we're building. As Josh said, we're not done yet. Okay, not gonna be our last game tonight. But
I love it.
But what's important is we're doing it the right way. We're not cutting steps. We fully accept what went wrong, even in the games this year, and we'll work to fix it. And win or lose, these young men, they've endured. And this last thing is, I told every kid we recruited last year, you have two choices. You can either be part of the biggest turnaround and best story in college basketball, or you can watch it on TV.
Here you are. Here you are.
Mic drop.
Buddy, we hope to talk to you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for a celebration. You know what? I almost said it. Doug Gottlieb, head coach, UW Green Bay basketball. We'll see you tonight, DG.
Go Phoenix, it's game day! day.
See you, bud. I love it. Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. I don't ever need to see inside of his mouth ever again.
Yep, we sure did, but we did there. He's jacked, man.
We're back in a bit, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Ortiz to right field. It is back and it is gone. Ortiz down the left field line. It is a fair ball and gone for Ortiz. And a fly ball to left. Well struck and out of here. Joey Ortiz, number 3. Is Ortiz out to left again, headed towards that pen. Goodbye.
And there's Ortiz. That is deep in the left. And Joey sends one out of here. He's on a home run binge. Number 5 for Ortiz.
The first 5 home runs of Joey Ortiz's season last year as a Milwaukee Brewer. A reminder to us on a Take Back Tuesday. Oh, he's got it in him. We're starting to see it in spring training just a little bit. So do we have to take anything back inside Wisconsin sports? Trevor and Josh, are you taking anything back?
It's an interesting question on a Take Back Tuesday. I don't think I'm there yet. I think this is I need proof. I need proof at the plate first.
So the proof in the spring training isn't enough proof. We got to see Joey Ortiz at the plate in the regular season. And we talked about this with Tim Allen on Monday. What does he got to hit, Josh? 250, 240? What would make you happy and go, all right, welcome back.
And that's been the hardest thing, right? Is that I want to just look at it from a number perspective, but do we not all think about last season with Joey Ortiz and it being the opportunity to get runs in and that being the times it fell short? I don't care if he bets 250 and he's hitting a bunch of singles to get on base and then doing nothing with it. Now, to be fair, that's better, but it's those clutch opportunities that really hurt and stood out to Brewers fans.
Well, but to your point, I would rather take Joey Ortiz on base regardless.
True.
He's fast.
Beggars can't be choosers, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get him on base. Let's have him start hitting. If it's a bunch of singles, okay, it's a bunch of singles. Could he be clutch if he's having a better year at the plate? Sure. We'll take that. Icing on the cake. Right now, the cake's in the oven and the oven's off. Right. We need this somebody to turn the oven on. And then for Joey Ortiz to show up this season and take some swings and get on base and be the hitting shortstop that the Brewers got to have.
I mean, so are you in? Are you taking back any hate on Joey Ortiz? Was his ABs we've seen so far in spring training, was that enough for you?
I don't know that I had a real hard opinion that I need to take back on Joey Ortiz. I would have loved for him to hit more, but his glove saved him a ton. Late in the season, nobody hit. True. I mean, the only guy that hit was Caleb Durbin, and he gone.
He's not here anymore.
I don't have to take anything back, I don't think. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. More basketball chat next. Stay here. I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa!
Huskies get the upset with the 72-70 win.
The hardest thing to teach in coaching is how to win.
A low point, and I'm not sure it can get much lower.
When some find reasons to quit, adversity and doubt creeping in,
Make it 21 straight losses for Doug Gottlieb and the Phoenix.
the Phoenix find lessons.
You find out what people are made of when you go through this level of adversity. And I'm going to see it through until we win a Horizon League championship.
We learned that there's only one choice: to rise.
There's no struggle, there is no progress. It's easy that we're not getting better. Toughest team, best conditioned team, best culture in the league.
What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome in. Happy March, baby. March Madness kicks off in Green Bay tonight. The Phoenix at home in the Horizon League tournament against Purdue Fort Wayne. We just talked to Doug Gottlieb here on Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Preston Reedinger will join us at 8:25. El Capitano is the best way to put Preston. He is the team leader on University of Wisconsin Green Bay's men's basketball team. According to some, he is a second-team all-conference point guard. That's where he landed anyway.
According to others.
Not so much. Maybe first team, question mark. But nonetheless, a guy that really sticks out on Green Bay and stuck it out with Green Bay, a guy that could have gone anywhere after a 4-win season, at least anywhere that he wanted and that wanted him. At the same time, he chose to stay, and he's talked about how much the Phoenix mean to him as a program, having grown up here in Northeast Wisconsin in Oshkosh and understanding that all he ever wanted to do is play for Green Bay. And so once he was given the opportunity to do so, this now being his third season doing so, nothing else matters. He just wanted to turn around and rebuild the Phoenix program. Had a great year with Sonny, winning program, rose from the ashes, if you will. Last year, back in the tank. This year, plenty out of the tank. And again, hosting a Horizon League tournament game. A guy like Rudy is a guy at mid-major basketball's level and maybe mid-major athletics in general that choose to stick it out. However, that is not the norm in college athletics. It's not the norm in any program in college athletics. The transfer portal is a real thing. So when it comes to college athletics, how are we going to decide whose number should be retired in college? Guys like Rudy make for a good argument at the mid-major level. A leader on the court, off the court, 3 years, dedicated. I mean, he's as much of a brand ambassador for Green Bay basketball as anybody ever will be. But if you look at the last number that was retired earlier this season in an exhibition game against Bradley, it was Kiefer Sykes. They did that because the head coach of Bradley was Kiefer's coach here in Green Bay, that being Brian Wardle. That's it. The last time was Kiefer. And in today's day and age, everybody agrees that I've ever talked to about this. There's no way Kiefer Sykes would have been here in Green Bay for 4 years. If he would have played today, in today's NIL era of college athletics, he would have been gone early, real early. He was that good. So now what? Now how do we decide on whose number to retire in college? What are the specifications that we're looking for? What do you think? 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line.
I mean, your first thought goes to winning, right? If you win, especially if it's a historic win for the program, that launches those guys, that team, to a different level, a different consideration. So if you're looking at a collegiate program, to your point, in the NIL era, that might be the only way, because you're not going to see players stick around for 3 or 4 years. It's going to be very, very rare for that to happen, especially if the team is winning. the team's winning, usually that person is either going to a school to get paid more money to win there, or they're going to the NBA. And so then you're not going to have them that whole time. So I think, and there is gray area, because what someone does for, winning, quote unquote, for the Phoenix is different than winning for the Badgers, right? If the Badgers found a way to win the Big Ten, that's not jersey retiring status, right? If they make a run to the Final Four, then maybe. If they win the whole damn thing, then yeah. If the Badgers won the tournament this year, do you think they would retire Blackwell's number? If they won the championship?
No, I don't know. Maybe, where do you stop, right? We've talked about this from retired jersey number in the Bucks.
Yep.
Right? Where do you stop? So is it Blackwell? Is it Boyd? Is it Braden Carrington, who comes out of the woodwork and off the bench for 32 in the last game? Those two dudes, Boyd and Carrington, are seniors. Blackwell, not so much. So do they? I don't know. The only numbers retired by Wisconsin that you and I would recall, there are three. One is Abe Nicholas, number 8. Then it's Frank Kaminsky at number 44 and Michael Finley at number 24. We can connect the dots on two of those three, knowing that Michael Finley put Wisconsin basketball back on the map and Frank Kaminsky doubled down on it. But why Frank and not Sam Decker, who was all in Wisconsin basketball during that exact same time? And how much of this depends on their success in basketball after they leave a program? We've seen that a lot. And so if we're looking at college and go, all right, well, Sam and I think Frank both left without a degree, I believe. Frank, if you're listening and you have one, my apologies. I know Sam left before his degree. Why do we know that? Because his mom called him out on it. Online, on Twitter. With all of that to be said, though, look at a guy like Con Knippel. Played 1 year at Duke. Didn't win the championship, but just set the rookie record in the NBA for most three-pointers in a rookie season. If he goes on to win championships, do they retire his number at Duke? Not only based on what he did there, but what he did after? It's a very slippery slope. And the transfer portal really does screw all this up. But what are your thoughts on what should qualify to have your jersey retired? 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. When it comes to college, what should qualify having your jersey retired at XYZ school? The 262 says, have to play all 4 years and make a difference.
If that's your bar, there are not going to be a whole lot of numbers retired.
They're
plain and simple.
So all 4 years at the same school? Is that
That's
your
what I'm
point?
taking it as. Yeah. Have to play all 4 years at that school and make a difference.
Here's the problem. College programs rarely recruit the college freshmen anymore. Maybe one, maybe, but the rest are transfers now. And Rudy, who we're going to talk to here in a matter of 15 minutes, transferred into Green Bay after his freshman year, I believe, at Valparaiso, and played 3 years straight. Now, that didn't mean he didn't want to be in Green Bay. He did. He just wasn't recruited to play at Green Bay.
Sure.
So once he got here, 100% committed. 3 straight years. I asked him after the last game, why'd you come back? You didn't have to. Four wins. Nothing said Rudy had to come back to this. And it was bigger than winning for him. Winning changes everything, you say. And sometimes to the players and sometimes to the fans, care is just as important. And Rudy has it for Green Bay.
Sure.
The 920. Ian, go ahead. You go.
I was going to say, Ian from Appleton says it has to be records broken at the school, held for a long time, and most likely a record that would be a record for the division. He also doesn't agree that it is about winning, because then that's a team, not an individual. Also, it's what they do after at the pro level. So I think it's a few things that it's still, if you're someone who is the all-time leading scorer for your collegiate program, but your collegiate program still isn't winning, are you going to retire a number for that? I don't think that's it. I think it's the impact you make on that winning team. It's the impact you make on that historic run, right? It's what you do for that organization in the time that you were there. That's what people remember. That's what people look at and go, no one else should be able to wear that person's jersey.
There's an Emmy Award-winning documentary called 362. It's on Roku television. You can find it on YouTube. When Sundance Wicks was here 2 seasons ago, not last year, but the year before, here in Green Bay, he turned a team from what was the third last team in Division I men's basketball from 362 to a winning record in the Horizon League, a winning record overall, and hosting a tournament team at the Crest against Milwaukee that season. Rudy was a part of that team. That was a gigantic turnaround from where it was before. Then Sonny leaves. Doug gets hired late, doesn't have the opportunity to recruit the way that he knew he needed to. And poofty smoke, 4 wins. Rudy was a part of that team. Now Doug has an entire offseason, has all the time in the world to get the right players in the right seat in the bus. And he would say it best, also hire the right assistant coaches to take the program to the next level. Rudy's on board for year 3. He's clearly the leader. Boom, back to a winning schedule, back to winning overall, winning in the Horizon League, and now hosting another Horizon League tournament game. Is that enough winning? He did it twice. Rudy was a part of doing the turnaround twice. And so I maybe am making a point to myself going, God, if Green Bay is ever going to retire a number, it's got to be a guy like Rudy, who was a part of 2 turnarounds in the program, who put the program back on the map as the leader, and yet they don't have a Horizon League tournament championship yet to show for it. But what's enough in terms of winning?
Right. That's the big question. And I do think that depending on the school and the caliber of winning at that school, what you do at a pro level definitely plays a part, right? Like I just brought up that example of if you're the leading scorer. Well, if you're the leading scorer at the school and you were known for being at the school and you played multiple years at the school, and then you went and you did something in the pros, then yeah, they might have you come back and retire your number because of what you did afterwards as well. But the thing is that then it becomes, how long are they not giving that number out, right? How long are they keeping that in the bag going, well, hold on, don't hand that one out for a couple of years. We'll see what this kid does now that he's not playing collegiate ball anymore. There's thoughts that go into it from the school, right? Of now you can make that jersey available, or no, don't, because there's a chance we're retiring that one someday. But how does the school decide that? How does the school even decide at this point, if let's play it out with Rudy. How does UWGB decide at the end of this year, at the end of next year, if that jersey is available? Someone comes in, they want that number. Do you say no? If you say no, there's a reason.
Mm-hmm.
If you tell that kid no, you better have some type of resume you're putting together for making the decision to make sure no one wears it.
It's interesting to kind of think about this, though, because college athletics in general has changed so much. Somebody on the Nicolay Law Talking text line, 414-677-1250, said, well, they retired Shadur's number. Okay, bad example, I think. At least I'd like to think that that's a bad example. But there's really no one way to do this. And there has been a clear path in the past. You play all the years. You win the championships. You're the team MVP. You put the program back on the map. You made sure it didn't fall off the cliff, whatever the case may be. Michael Finley, no-brainer. Why it took that long, no idea.
Sure.
But no-brainer. Same too with Frank Kaminsky. Greatest Badger basketball team to ever step foot on the court.
Yep.
It was unbelievable, that run they did. To the Final Four 2 years in a row. And only, I believe, the 3rd and 4th time in program history, if my research memory recall is worth a you-know-what.
Yeah, sounds right.
They've got a national championship from back in the day. They went to the Final Four in 2000 and then twice with Kaminsky and Decker's team. And yet didn't win it. And
right.
His jersey's retired. Same too with Michael Finley. Went to the NCAA tournament but didn't win anything there. I wish, maybe this is my way of pouting, that college athletics, even down to jersey retirements, is clear as mud. That's a bummer. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. Bob in Minneapolis says they retire numbers in college. Why? Well,
they retire numbers. Sometimes they retire numbers in high school. Like you see that all the time. Didn't we have Tyler Hero and even Tyrese Halliburton come back to their high schools to have their jerseys retired because of what they went on to do in the NBA? Like that, depending on the level, yeah, they'll absolutely honor that player.
Well, to that point, what about a ring of honor? Does it have to be attached to a jersey number? The 920 says, what if they just started hanging names in the rafters and not numbers? With everything changing, it's probably too hard to retire a number, per the conversation. That way, the resume can be different on what the school wants.
Yeah. It's a very interesting conversation, and we've had it at the pro level. You think about guys like Drew Holiday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Drew Holiday, to me, is the biggest question mark for it because Drew wasn't here for a long time. He wasn't here like Middleton was. But he was monumental in the Bucks winning that championship. And so how do you make that decision? If they had a ring of honor, that's a lot easier. You could put a lot of names in the ring of honor, right? That's why the Brewers have their wall of fame or whatever it is. There are a ton of Brewers that make that. That's not as prestigious, I would say, because they have, I don't even know how many, but if you did some good as a Milwaukee Brewer, you're on that wall of fame.
True.
So it's the gray area. It's the gray area for sure.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. Somebody texted in and said, Tony Bennett's jersey, retired at UWGB, is the only one that belongs up there in the last 35 years. Whew, fighting words. Disagree. Jeff Norgard would disagree as well.
Yeah.
And there's some numbers, I believe 3, that were retired 2 or 3 seasons ago from the old school UW Green Bay that started the program, Anderson being one of them, years ago in the 70s and 80s. They're the ones that deserve the credit for making the program worth the hill of beans. And now there's guys along the way like Kiefer Sykes, like Jeff Norgard, obviously like Tony Bennett, that deserve to have their number retired. But how many more to come? It's going to be really interesting to play this out.
I mean, we didn't bring up that if you're looking for a Milwaukee perspective, this year Marquette retired Marcus Howard's jersey for him being recognized as the all-time leading scorer. So that again coming to the.
And when did he play?
Let me bring up his exact years.
Okay, we'll get to that. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. But
2016 to 2020.
Okay, so not terribly long ago.
No.
It's not like they waited 20 years for that.
No, 6 years.
Sure. All right, when we come back, scheduled to join Preston Reedinger, the captain that we're talking about with UW Green Bay. He'll join us next to talk about his Green Bay journey, to talk about what tonight means to him and the team, and what his thoughts are on maybe this conversation and other things that we might have questions for. So if you've got one, get it in. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. What are your questions for a guy like Rudy, who committed himself to a program here in Green Bay 3 years, all in 3 years, and it was about the jersey, not the other side? We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
excavating.
Reedinger looking for his move. He'll call his own number and he'll knock it down. This isn't a comeback story. It's a promise kept to the fans, to our families, and to ourselves. A promise to endure, to always fight and grow together. A promise to rise.
What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome back inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Rise, indeed, they have. The University of Wisconsin Green Bay men's basketball team hosting their first game in the Horizon League tournament tonight against Purdue Fort Wayne at the Crest Center, 7 o'clock, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht, and joining us now on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Some call him Rudy. His last name doesn't sound like a Rue, though. It's Reedinger. Preston Reedinger joins us, El Capitano of UW men's Green Bay basketball. I've shared that story, maybe not on the air before, but Rudy, you know this. Josh, I was PA announcing for Green Bay and pronouncing Rudy's name, Preston Reedinger, for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I get this little tap on my shoulder. Hey, bud. I turn around. Is this cute little old lady who happened to be Rudy's grandmother. It's Reedinger. I don't know who told you it was Ruedinger, but
grandma.
it's Reedinger.
Good for grandma.
Sorry, Grandma.
No,
Rudy,
Grandma
is it
gets,
Ruedinger or Reedinger?
it's Reedinger. And Grandma will tell you that every time you say it wrong. So, yeah, you're not, to be honest, you're not the only one.
Okay, good. Makes me feel better. All right, man. I just texted Coach, lean into the emotion. The journey is the reward. We talked to him at 7:25.
Mm-hmm.
He sent me the playoff hype video. We've been playing that all morning. Maybe you've seen it. Maybe you haven't. You're featured in it. That was what we just played coming back. What has this turnaround this time meant to you? Because you were here one other time 2 years ago for a turnaround. Then not so much, but now we're back. How's it been?
No, it's been really like, I would say like how you brought it up, the first turnaround, like it didn't mean as much just because you weren't there for the 3-29. And so to be a part of the 4-28 season and then, coming back and having faith in Coach Gottlieb that he's going to have her back and everyone else is going to rally around, the program and we're going to have a season that we had, it means even more just because you've been through the lowest of lows.
Can you talk a little bit about senior night? I mean, obviously that was an emotional moment, but I mean, packages put together for you. Your dad's sinking putts to help kids with tuition. You're being honored left and right. How was that night for you?
Oh, it's obviously very emotional, and for those of people that were there, they saw that. It's been a dream of mine to put on the Phoenix jersey for a long time, and I'll share a little story. So, I had an opportunity to go to North Dakota out of high school, and my dad was like, "What are you like waiting for? What's going on? Like, you've always wanted to play Division I," and for some reason, I just couldn't go because there was still an opportunity at Green Bay. And to be honest, that opportunity at North Dakota passed, and I ultimately went to Valparaiso. But I wanted to be at Green Bay, since literally in high school, and that was really the only place I was looking to go. Even a walk-on spot, but that opportunity didn't come about. So I feel like, it was a emotional day just because of, it being my dream to be at Green Bay and like the season I've had, the season we've had. It just, all came together and literally was one of the most special days of my life.
Rudy, in today's name, image, likeness landscape, even at the mid-major level, rare is the bird, pun intended, that wants to play for a specific team because they grew up dreaming to play for them. What was it about Green Bay that made you believe?
Just the community culture. I feel like that was a big piece of it. We were 4-28 last year, and we still had almost 2,000 people at each game. Like, that's rare. You, not to throw like names out there, but in conference, you go to these lower level or lower seeds in the league, and there's not many people showing up.
So just the support that we have on a day in and night in, night out basis, I think that really helps, fuel what we have going at Green Bay, and then ultimately just Coach Doug, just bringing the fire into everything that we do and believing in him that he's got our back and he knows that we got his.
So you just mentioned Doug Gottlieb, coach. Talk to us about just what it is about him that made you go, you know what, I want to stick with this guy, and what he's done for you personally.
Oh yeah, I mean, first things first, like, sorry to go on another story tangent, but we were around 18 or 19, maybe even 20 losses, and coach called me over and he knew it was not going well for me. And we honestly probably had like a 2-hour talk. Just me and him at his house, just chopping it up, talking. And I feel like after that I felt like, wow, like this guy really loves coaching. But also he cares about me. And that I feel like is a special and rare thing to have a coach call you over at 10 p.m. and talk till midnight. But that's just the kind of guy that he is. And I knew that, no matter what, I could go to him with anything I had on my mind and that he had my back. And no matter what, how the season were to play out, I knew we were going to be, together and take all the hits and run with it.
We're chatting with the captain of the Green Bay men's basketball team, Preston Reedinger. The Phoenix play tonight at the Crest Center, not the Resch Center. Somebody just texted in and said, wait a minute, doesn't GB play at the Resch Center? Kind of. All the games but 3 were at the Crest Center this year, and I think that's the way it's going to be moving forward unless change happens down the road. But Crest Center out on UWGB's campus tonight, 7 o'clock, round 1 of the Horizon League tournament here in Green Bay. But not the first time you've played in a Horizon League tournament game in Green Bay, Rudy. It was Green Bay, Milwaukee 2 seasons ago in one of the better atmospheres in college basketball I've ever been in. Didn't end the way we wanted it to, but nonetheless an amazing experience. What has to be different tonight for us to win this time in the Horizon League tournament?
Our defense. We gave up too many points against Milwaukee. I couldn't tell you the final score, but I think our goal is to obviously defend, rebound, and take care of the ball. And I think if we hold to teams around 70 points, we'll win any college basketball game we play. I think that from the defensive end to start off the game with a defensive mindset that we need to get stops. Fort Wayne is one of the best offenses in the league, and we had success earlier, as we play them in the first two contests, but they're coming. Everyone win or go home. So I feel like they'll be on their best A game and ready for us, but we'll be ready for them as well.
So yeah, just talk about a little bit about what you need from the fan base tonight. You talked about how the school and this season has been a lot about community. You call to action time. What are you looking for from the UWGB faithful tonight?
I'm expecting you to be loud. In the first Fort Wayne game when we were on ESPN2, we got 2 shot clock violations because you were so loud. And that's credit to you guys. But we need it again. And when you get loud and there's energy in the gym, it just fuels us to go play even harder. More adrenaline, all of that. You guys are a huge, make us successful. So we need you there. We need you loud, be early, enjoy a good basketball game because we're going to give you one.
Love it.
Rudy, we asked the listening audience and the fans of Green Bay basketball if they had questions for you to text them in on the Nicolay Law talk and text line, 414-677-1250. We got a couple. Can we ask you?
Okay, absolutely.
This first one, I don't know who it is. It is from the 920. And the question is this. Ask Rudy who does his laundry, please.
Oh, geez.
You better get this right.
Well, my girlfriend, I'm blessed to have an amazing girlfriend, and she loves doing laundry, and I hate doing laundry, but she hates doing the dishes, and I'm okay with doing the dishes. So when we're together, she does the laundry and I do the dishes. So that's just how it works.
Buddy, I don't know how long you guys have been together, but if you found a woman that loves doing laundry.
Yeah. When you said that line, I was like, okay.
You're going to need the ring real quick. Ring.
Yeah. So
Jeff from Luxembourg texted in and said, here's a question for Rudy. Playing in front of family at every home game for a local kid, is there more pressure to perform because of that? Or are you just more comfortable hearing your mom and dad during a game because you played for dad in high school?
No, I would say that obviously, like, it's not pressure. It's more excitement, like the butterflies in your stomach. Like, wow, this is really cool. Like, I get an opportunity to play. I mean, even senior night, I would say there was at least 100 people there that I knew, if not more. And I think, that's really exciting for me because even at Valparaiso, like, my dad came. That's it. Like, those are the only people I knew in the stands. And so, no, it's not. There's not more pressure. Obviously, like you said, I played for my dad, and that was amazing. And to hear him vocalize his opinions in the stands, sometimes I love it. Other times I'm like, "Yo, be quiet, Dad." But no, it's good. So, no, I would say more like I said, excited, like butterflies. But that get your adrenaline going, and I think it's a really good thing.
So we had a conversation before we brought you on about just the difficulty that exists in today's day and age of retiring a number in a collegiate athletic program. But
Yep.
knowing the time that you've spent at UWGB and being on the court, has it gone through your mind of, man, it'd be really awesome to see my jersey retired at
Yeah.
UWGB?
I mean, like, ultimately, yeah, that'd be like insane to me. My brain can't even really comprehend that. But I also think that one of my good teammates, Marcus Hall, if he stays another year, and I feel like he really got, what's the word? Screwed over in the Horizon League
Good catch. Good
all
catch.
league team. Yeah.
Yep, you're good.
And I feel like next year if he comes back and he decides to come back, I think that's a guy that definitely should be thought about put up there. Because I think he's going to have an amazing season. He's had an amazing season the last 2 seasons. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, if that honor were to be put to me, that'd be a really cool honor for sure.
More questions coming in on the Nicolay Law Talk and text line for you, Rudy. Here's one that says, tonight is your last night playing for Green Bay, win or lose.
Yeah.
Has that sunk in yet?
Yeah, it has. To be honest, when we were talking about you were talking about the Resch Center. I didn't realize that was my last game at the Resch. Like, we beat
yeah.
Detroit, and I didn't like soak it in a lot, because we spent our seasons at the Resch the 2 years before, so that one kind of sucked to not realize, like, gosh, this is my last game at the Resch.
Damn it.
But I think, yeah, I'll enjoy it a little bit more just because, like, yeah, I know this is my last home game in front of Green Bay, so yeah, I think it'll be exciting, and I think, again, a lot of people are going to be there that I know. So that'll be really cool for me. But there's no plan of losing, so it's going to be a good experience.
Amen to that.
Well, I just want to say good luck tonight. Obviously, same thing I told Coach that, it's fun to reminisce and look at the change of what's happened from last season to this season, but you guys aren't done yet. You got this game tonight. So best of luck, but keep that focus on the game ahead.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Rudy, there's a few more questions. Let's rapid fire these.
Let's do it.
Ask Rudy, this is a tough one. If coming out of high school, you got an offer from the Badgers and from Green Bay, who are you choosing?
Oh.
I know.
I mean, like, well, that'd be hard. I'm just gonna be totally honest. I'd probably go to the Badgers, but it would suck. It wouldn't be like, I don't
didn't see that coming type of thing.
with no like NIL, like that'd be really hard. I have no clue, to be honest.
All right, rapid fire, Rudy.
Let's go.
3 left, and then we got to jump. The 920. Do you prefer Kress or Resch?
Kress. Students.
Why? Students. That's easy. What class do you have today, Rudy?
None. Online.
None?
It's game day.
I have online class.
Well, that's a class. What class do you have?
Yeah, I have HR management tomorrow night, so I'll be in there.
He has make sure that they know you're in front of a computer.
That was a very HR answer.
And then focus.
Yeah,
well, he's taking the class.
I'm serious. HR.
See, he's studying.
All right, last one. What are you doing after college?
Hopefully coaching or working for my dad in construction.
Staying here in the community, though.
Yes, for sure.
And that's what matters most. That's the goal of a mid-major program, is to get a guy like you, a homegrown kid, to believe in a program as much as you do, and then stay here and help make the community better. We appreciate you, buddy. It has been an absolute joy watching you play, and Josh has this phrase coined, we are not done yet. I hope to be there in person after you win tonight when you guys play Sunday or Monday or whatever the case may be. That would be a blast.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
All right, Rudy. We'll talk to you soon.
Good luck.
Preston Reedinger, Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Just a chill college kid.
Yeah, seriously.
Online class.
I got a class today, I guess. Yeah.
And yet, you watch him on the court.
Biggest college game in my career.
You watch him on the court. That's not the kid. He's just in the zone right now.
Yeah.
And it was a great chat. Don't get me wrong. But for a guy like Rudy, when a player makes a foul on the court and puts their hands up like every player does, I didn't do that. That wasn't me. No way. Rudy walks over to them, grabs them by the wrist, and pulls their hands down. Like, hey, bud, do better. We got this. We're better when Rami joins us. Without a doubt, he's joining us next as we cross over with our friends from 9 to noon with John Kuhn and Rami Makloff, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. Powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Remember, Wisconsin, if you missed any part of today's show, open up your favorite podcast platform and type in Inside Wisconsin Sports, and there will pop up. You can also text sports to the Nicolay Law talk and text line 414-677-1250, and a link will be sent directly to you to catch any segment, any hour, any show, anytime it works best for you. Just search for Inside Wisconsin Sports on your favorite podcast platform. 9 to noon with John Kuhn and Rami Makloff is next here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. John Kuhn joins us now. JK, we were talking about what qualifies in today's college NIL era for a player to have their jersey retired, their number retired, knowing that rare is the bird that stays at a university for 2, 3, 4 years. What qualifies retiring somebody's number in college?
You mean for basketball?
I would say fill in the blank. Basketball, football, whatever the case may be.
Okay, so students that transfer multiple times is what you're getting at here. I don't know if you will get one of those instances. Maybe national champion Fernando Mendoza. Look at what he did. Look at what their team did in Indiana, right? That was the worst program in all of college football. He goes there for 2 years, wins a Heisman, and wins a national championship game with him getting that huge blow-up shot at the goal line. Yeah, I would say Indiana put his jersey up. That's fine
True.
by me, because what he did and what they did at that program was magnificent.
Well, and then the conversation became, John, how much of it is also at the collegiate level based on what they go on to do in the pros? Like if a kid plays for just a season at the collegiate level at a specific school, but then goes on to have an amazing professional career, then do you retire their jersey at the collegiate level?
Yeah, no. Here's the deal, right? When you got these players and they're phenomenal players when they're with you, and they go on to bigger and better things in the NBA, the NFL, and everywhere beyond. What did he actually accomplish with your school? Like right now, who do you consider to be the best basketball player, the best college basketball player of all time? Many people say Christian Laettner, right? Many people do. But what was Christian Laettner's career like at the NBA level? He was an average NBA player. Mm-hmm. So could you base it just solely off of that? No, you got to base it off of what he did at your school.
Yeah, I think that's true. What happens at the school is what matters most. But there's unfortunately just some of those cases where a guy goes to the pros, does really, really well, and then they go, geez, we should probably retire his jersey here.
I feel like what spurred this conversation? Who got their what are you talking about? Shedeur Sanders getting his number retired? Or
no, Preston Rudinger. So Preston Riedinger, I should say. The captain of the UWGB men's basketball team, John, grew up in Northeast Wisconsin, Oshkosh kid, wanted to play for Green Bay in the worst way coming out of high school. It was his dream. He grew up a Phoenix fan, ended up not getting an offer, walked on at Valparaiso, and then the second he could, he transferred back to Green Bay, did really well here, clearly is the captain this year, and was part of turning the program around twice. So does he qualify completely based on what he was able to do for the program, being a local kid, and choosing not to give up and stay here?
How many years was he here?
3 years of his 4-year career.
Yeah, I think that's, hey, how many jerseys do they have? Who's got their numbers retired there? Who's got their numbers retired in Green Bay?
So there are, I believe, 6 jersey numbers retired. 3 of them are from the old years of the teams that did really well, I believe, in the 70s. The most recent ones are Tony Bennett. We all know that name.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Norgard, who got drafted to the Bucks, ironically, and played in the NBA for a hot second. And Kiefer Sykes, who in today's NIL day and age would not have stayed here for 4 years when he played for Brian Wardle.
Well, I mean, you can't judge somebody by today's standards when they were not in today's standards.
Right.
Tony Bennett was a Green Bay guy. I think he went to Preble High School. Is that correct?
That one I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure he went to Preble High School and then over to Green Bay. So he was a Green Bay guy. I imagine he spent 4 years there. I think 3 years is good, especially since he wanted to be at Green Bay for the first year, but he had to prove it to him for an extra year at Valparaiso.
You're correct, Preble.
That's exactly right. Go to Valpo, prove it to me. I think the coach has changed a couple, 2, 3 times. And he averages just over 8 points per game right now.
Ooh, it's kind of tough to retire a number if you don't.
I know.
If you don't get 1,000 points.
Yeah, I don't know that he's got 1,000 points in his career at Green Bay. His cohort does. He just celebrated 1,000.
I'm trying to do the math in my head.
8 points per game, 3.7 rebounds per game, 3.1 assists per game, 34 minutes a game this year for Rudy. And
great,
just over
great kid. Listen, Rudy, great kid. I don't know if the stats confirm it.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can do it that way.
Yep, that's hard. So you got to have the stats and the tenure, and rare do those two things combined.
I'd probably rather have the stats than the tenure, too, to be honest with you.
So what we're saying is there's just no roadmap. It's okay.
Yeah.
We'll get there eventually.
It's just gray area. It's all gray area.
All right, John Kuhn, Rami Makloff, 9 to noon with those two guys coming up next here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Those studios powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Our thanks to Doug Gottlieb for joining us a day early and talking about the journey and what it's been like for him to go from 4 wins and 21 losses straight last year to this year and hosting a Horizon League tournament game tonight at the Crest Center. If you're here in Northeast Wisconsin, where I am, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, get your tush to the Crest Center tonight, 7 o'clock. These guys not only need our support, but they deserve it. 7 o'clock, the Crest Center. Grab your tickets now. Our thanks to Rudy, and our thanks to all of you for joining us here on Inside Wisconsin Sports. We will be back tomorrow. Brad Davison, the Badgers, scheduled to join us at 7:25. We'll see you then, Wisconsin.
Because we're not done yet.